Hello, everyone. You may know the person on my screen right here. It's an honor to talk to her. I've had her on before. She is the director of DOG. What does that stand for again?
Detroit Animal Welfare Group.
Okay, cool. So you testified in front. You were in Lansing months ago in the spring, testifying about how the Michigan DNR basically you say is targeting groups like yours, and all you want to do is help animals. What does your group do? What do you do for animals?
So we're a large 25-acre farm, and we take in all species of animals or animals in need. So we take in dogs, domestic animals, we take in farm animals, we take in exotic animals, and we take in wildlife. We are a large wildlife rehabilitation center.
Okay, so it's not like you're in a small neighborhood. You have 25 acres.
25 acres out in the country with a
Wow.
pond and a
Okay.
creek, heated barn, kennel. It's a beautiful facility.
Okay. I have to come out there. I'll bring the family.
Yes, you
Um,
do.
so you've had issues after issues with the DNR because they have issues with what, getting permits or whatever it is.
It all goes back to 2018 when we were involved in a deer issue in Clarkston, and we were speaking out of how the DNR was handling it, and many deer were dying and starving. And ever since then, they've come for inspection after inspection and harassed and taken us to court and trying to take the permit, and it just has never stopped, unfortunately.
Wow. So
We've
you
spent
have
140,000 now of my own retirement funds to fight the DNR.
wow in legal fees and all that.
Yes, all legal fees.
Wow. So you have a permit, I get, right?
Yep, a wildlife permit since 2015 or 16, one of the two,
Wow.
2015, I think.
So I saw everyone was messaging me about this fawn, and I know there's several other situations going on, but I saw this and I'm like, wow, on the screen right now. I don't know if the fawn has a name, but is it Peanut?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking at Peanut. I don't know if you can see Peanut in the middle of the screen. How did you meet Peanut? How did this start?
So we are the largest fawn rehabilitation center in the state. We took in over 100 fawns this year that are orphaned or injured. And so when the mom gets hit by a car, people bring in the fawns that are left, or if a fawn's injured, it's starving, the mom dies, they bring in the fawn that's starving. If a fawn gets hit by a car, has a broken leg, they bring in the fawn. So we get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of calls on deer and fawns every year that, the community is concerned about, that's in their yard, and they want help for them. And so that's what we do. We take them in, we raise them, rehabilitate them, and release them to the wild.
Wow. So you got a call about Peanut?
Peanut was brought in, yes. She was found in somebody's yard laying on her side, and she was brought in lateral. She couldn't, fawns should be laying on their abdomen, not on their side. And she was laying on her side and she couldn't lift her neck. She couldn't even move. She was so weak. And so, the outcome for an animal like that is not great. And so we put in an IV, we treat them. She was hypoglycemic, her sugar was very low. So we treat that and with dextrose, and we give them IV fluids to hydrate them. We get their temperature back to normal. And then we see what their status is. And after a couple days, Peanut started to slowly improve. She was able to drink. For the first couple days, she wasn't able to take a bottle. And so even though she couldn't lift her head, she still was strong enough to suck and drink a bottle. And so we thought, well, we're allowed to keep fawns to October 1st. Let's give her every opportunity and see if she has 4 months here. Let's see how she does. And so every day we came in hopeful. We have a hospital on site. We have a veterinarian and a vet tech, and
Oh, wow.
we'd come in every morning and we're like, let's see how Peanut is today. She was so tiny. That's why we called her Peanut.
Okay.
And so she was, for days she was on her side, and then all of a sudden she started to move her legs. And then, a week later she could lift her head, and we're like, oh my gosh, she's coming along. I never thought she was going to make it. And so it took her a very long time. You could see in her eyes the determination to want to walk and to want to live. And, sometimes we would think maybe we should euthanize this animal, she's probably not going to get back to the wild. But she had such determination and such a fight that we said, you know what, we're going to give her the chance. And so
Okay.
we did. And every day we came in, there was a little bit more improvement, then she could lift her head. And then next thing she was laying sternal, 3 days later, then she was on her chest, how she should be. And we're like, yes, Peanut. And,
Awesome.
it took her weeks and then she could finally stand. We would stand her every day. We would do physical therapy so she didn't atrophy. And, we would get her to stand, but she was unsteady. And then one day we come in and she jumps up and she can stand. And we're like, yes.
Wow.
And so it was such a struggle watching her, week after week after week. And then finally, she was able to stand and drink. And she still had some little neurological problems where she was a little unsteady on her feet. And her vision wasn't 100%, but it's hard to evaluate that, how good their vision is. And so we moved her out to the stall where she would go next. And she did fine out there, able to eat on her own and drink on her own. And then we move her to a fawn yard where the fawns are until release. And so, even though she was a quarter of the size of some of the fawns, she was able to hold her own and she was able to drink and forage and, just every day better and better and improved. And we were just so thankful in such a fight this little girl put up that, we said we can't give up on her. However,
Yeah.
when it got close to October 1st, release date, we didn't feel she was able to be released safely into the wild. We didn't think she could outrun a predator with her vision, and she still had some slight neurologic issues. So the options then are to try and find placement for them. And
Why is
so,
there a date of October 1st? Is that a set
well,
date? Or
the DNR set that date. It's an arbitrary date. It's the first day of hunting. And, they originally said it's because they wanted, sorry, my bird's screaming.
no, that's
Fawns
okay.
available. I'm gonna go out here. They
Okay, we'll
wanted
see.
fawns available. Are you losing me?
I still see you.
Okay. They wanted fawns available for hunting season, um, which is October 1st, because, that's a large income for the DNR and large revenue. And so we have to release them by October 1st, sadly,
Was that
whether they're
was that
ready or not.
was that
No other
something?
wildlife has a release date, like opossums and squirrels and raccoons and foxes and coyotes and every other animal does not have a release date except fawns.
Is that something like they have in writing statewide for everybody?
Yes, it's in the wildlife conservation order, which we have to abide by as rehabilitators.
Okay, but okay, so you're saying that Peanut would not have even made it out on her own.
I mean, she had a low chance of survival the way she was. And
Okay.
so she would make a very good educational animal, meaning she was very calm. She was, very easy to manage and very easy to feed and very, would be very good around people and an education animal. And
Okay.
so that's why we found placement for her with a place that has education deer. And they had 2 deer at the time and they had room for 3. So we transferred her to another facility.
So everything's good now with her?
No. So that facility then, because they had room for 2, they have what's called a scientific collector's permit in Michigan.
Hmm.
So when you're a rehabilitator, you can get a scientific collector's permit to use animals for education.
Okay.
And so once you bring an animal in, then you fill out a paperwork and you send it to the DNR along with a letter of the veterinarian saying the animal is non-releasable and why it's non-releasable. And then the DNR says, okay, she's on your permit. And so you add the animals to your permit. Although it doesn't say in the regulations that you have to contact them for every animal on your permit, Casey Reed states you have to, but that is
Hmm.
not in the regulations. And so, nonetheless, this facility contacted Casey and told them that they wanted to add the 3rd fawn to their permit, and they were denied and said that they had to make that request by September 15th. And they said, well, there's nowhere, does it say that you have to add that, something to your scientific collector's permit? There's no dates for that. And she said, the September 15th date is for if you want to extend your rehabilitation of a fawn. So Casey again made proposals to change the wildlife conservation order back in 2022. In 2023, the DNR blindly approved all of those terrible changes for the animals. And the NRC also. And one of them was that very thing that if you want to, say you get a fawn in September 20th and you have to release him by October 1st and it has a broken leg. Well, I need 2 to 3 weeks to fix a broken leg. Well, I can't, because now they're saying you have to request an extension by September 15th. And so she said, well, an extension wasn't requested by September 15th, so you have to euthanize the fawn.
Wow. Oh, I lost you. Still there?
Question.
Oh, we lost your signal, I think. Oh, I think we lost you. Let's see if she comes back. Her
Requesting
signal.
to add her to our scientific collectors.
Oh, losing your signal. I don't know.
There.
Yeah, we're losing your signal here. There we. Okay, still frozen a little bit.
Okay.
Still frozen.
Still.
Yeah, still frozen up. Are the birds still singing?
Hmm.
Okay, a little better
I
there.
can go back in. Whenever I talk on the phone. Is that better?
It is better. Can you hear me?
I can go. Yeah.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, here. Okay, hello. Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so did they euthanize the fawn, or what's going on?
So the fawn is scheduled to be euthanized this week. Oh, I'm losing you again. Hold on. Can you hear me here?
Yeah, I hear you. I see you.
Okay. The fawn is scheduled to be euthanized this week. So, we put all this work into this fawn, months and months of care. And it's a very special animal and a very awesome personality. And the place we transferred her to felt the same and said she was an amazing addition and excellent for their education program. And they are just devastated also that the DNR is saying that they have to euthanize her. So,
Do we what did they give it? Did they give a day? Like what day?
they didn't give me a day. They just said they were scheduled this week because I guess it depends when their veterinarian is there. So unfortunately, it's a very sad situation for this animal. And there's no reason to lose her life based on an arbitrary date. That makes absolutely no.
Wow. So is the DNR, are they just targeting? Oh, you're breaking up again. I'm losing you.
I know. I'm moving.
Okay.
Okay.
Is the DNR just targeting people, or what's your take on this? Because they know you're involved, probably.
They know I'm involved, and I'm sure that has something to do with all of this. Sadly, we've been a target for the DNR since 2018. So whether it's because we are involved, I don't know. But all I know is that an animal is going to lose its life for no reason that doesn't deserve to. And so, we need to look at these laws. We need to make changes that are appropriate for the animals and not have arbitrary dates to kill animals. It's just insane.
Yeah, because like you and the man I interviewed last week about the birds, you're just trying to help. You don't have any evil intent.
Absolutely not. And we're licensed to have these animals, and we did our job in rehabilitating the animal, and not every animal is releasable. Sometimes they do have to be euthanized, if there's medical issues or if they're suffering or if they can't live a normal life. But this fawn is, a very happy fawn. She has no issues. She has issues where she can't be relieved, but she's very happy and healthy, and she would be very fine in captivity in an education program.
Yeah. Well, keep me updated. Hopefully the word can get out and maybe Peanut can be saved. You're going to have to let me know.
Well, we're hoping on Monday, everybody's going to be calling and that we're going to get some support for her. And I know we also posted today, I don't know if you saw it, about the coyote issue, but that's been going on since 2018 also. I don't know if you read that, but
I little bit. What's the coyote? Tell me a little bit about that issue.
so back in 2018, we were licensed to rehabilitate still, and a coyote was left on our front porch with a collar on and a broken leg. And so, normally when you would look at a young coyote, it would be fearful and it would be cowering in the back of this cage. This coyote was not fearful. It was wagging its tail, wanting to play. So it was clearly raised in captivity. And unfortunately, it couldn't be released to the wild. And so we put it under our USDA license. We have a USDA Class C exhibit license to exhibit animals. And so we have many animals under our exhibit license. And so she was under our exhibit license since 2018, since we had her. And the DNR feels that we had her illegally. And so they tried to revoke my permit. We went to court with the administrative law judge. Based on this, they gave us a criminal charge for having her. And we went to court. The administrative law judge ruled in our favor. And then that final ruling then goes to the DNR director. That was almost 2 years ago, and he has not made a final ruling. So it's still out there, unfortunately. So then they brought it back to court in our local district court in Romeo. Same thing, criminal charge for having this coyote. And we went to court there, and the prosecutor and the judge ended up dropping the charge because, again, they said it was covered under our USDA license.
Yeah.
And so now here we are again going to court in January with a new administrative law judge trying to revoke the permit on the same count of having the coyote after it's been ruled on twice.
I mean, I don't want to give my opinion, but that sounds like they're continuing to come after you.
Oh, absolutely. And, unfortunately, because the DNR director has not made a ruling, they can. So it's just unbelievable. I mean, it's just tax dollars. And I can tell you that it's close to $1 million in tax dollars. All of these court cases they've taken us to, and they have 2 attorneys on each one and a secretary and, 60-page briefs. And it's just absolutely insane the amount of time and money they have put into this one coyote over 7 years. That's perfectly happy, that has a beautiful enclosure that Mercedes-Benz built. It gets, enrichment, it has a proper diet, it has medical care. Leave the coyote alone.